Now at 6, we'll learn how Neosho County Community College plans to use funds from USDA grants. Plus, new details in a weekend hit and run in Miami, Oklahoma. And Fedex has selected Pittsburgh as a home for a regional distribution center. We'll tell you about the new facility.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Neosho County Community College has received a $745,000 grant from the USDA. This is KOIM News at 6. KOIM's Chris Warner tells us where the grant came from and what it's going toward.
The 6-figure grant for the Neosho County Community College came from the USDA. They were one of several agencies in Kansas to receive a grant, but they received the most money for their project, which is the new Mitchell Career and Technology Center. President Brian Inbody says it will open the door to several new opportunities.
It'll bring up to 8 new programs to the area. On day 1, it'll have 6 programs located there. Aerostructures for building airplane parts. Industrial maintenance technology for installing equipment in factories, welding, construction, electrical, and HVAC.
The project is in partnership with Southeast Kansas Works and the Chanute Regional Development Authority. Inbody says both agencies have a vested interest in the project as it'll help train new, qualified workers for the industrial developments in the area to help fill immediate job vacancies.
So instead of going to school for 4 years or something along those lines, you can go to college for just a year or less sometimes, get a certificate, a business and industry certificate that's nationally recognized, and then go straight to work in these new areas.
The $4 million cost of the project is being covered mostly by grants and donations, including the USDA grant, which Inbody says allowed them to include some additions to the project.
It paid for most of the classrooms at our new location, and it paid for the electrical lab for people who want to become electricians. We'll be able to offer that program in the future as well. So we're very, very grateful to the U.S. government for providing that grant to us.
In Chanute, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Inbody says they hope to have the new facility open and ready for students by the fall. The Miami, Oklahoma Police Department has released the name of a man killed in a hit-and-run crash, though they're still searching for a suspect. Police say the victim is 53-year-old Quang Jing Yi, a Chinese national who was staying in Miami. Quang was discovered on the 1200 block of East Steve Owens Boulevard on Saturday night. Checking in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
And thankfully, the big melt continues once again today, Dow, with mid-40s and mid-50s for highs. Couple that with plenty of sunshine like we're still seeing from 7th and Range Line. I'll be surprised if any snow is still on the ground within the next few days with the way our weather setup's looking. We had partly to mostly sunny skies for other areas outside of Joplin throughout parts of the day, but in general, looking mostly clear to start the evening out. And that's how it's going to stay throughout the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours. Quick look, the surface map shows a warm front passing to the north and east and high pressure to the southwest. That's going to keep a southerly and southwest wind in play, and that's going to really help us out with temperatures. Right now, upper 30s to lower 40s, maybe some mid 40s out west, but that southwest wind will prevent us from dropping back near 20 like we did this morning. We're starting out around 42 around Joplin this evening. We'll fall through the 30s down to the upper 20s to about 31 for tonight, Dow. So thankfully not too cold for tonight. We'll see how tomorrow and the rest of the week's looking here in a bit.
See you then. Pittsburgh city officials announced a new Fedex facility coming to town is slated to open in October. We told you weeks ago that Fedex was exploring a new facility in Pittsburgh, a distribution center. Today we learned construction is already underway. It'll be a 250,000 square foot facility west of Kansas Crossing Casino. It's expected to hire a mix of full-time and part-time employees. City officials say it'll be a big boost to Pittsburgh's economy.
It's going to be more of a regional center, which is great. We kind of see ourselves as the hub in the region, so we're looking at it like that. These aren't going to be just Pittsburgh people. It's going to be a regional place, and we've always been very fortunate. Whatever we've opened up, the jobs have been created and the jobs have been filled. So people will drive for a good job in this area.
Kansas Governor Kelly says completion of the 4-lane US 69 highway expansion to Pittsburgh was a critical part of this business investment. Ascension via Christie Cancer Center in Pittsburgh unveils its new look with an emphasis on private treatment rooms. Now, previously, the Chemotherapy Treatment Center had an open floor concept. That's now changed with 7 renovated private rooms. Hospital officials say the overhaul was prompted by the changing landscape of patient care over the past 25 years. The Mount Carmel Foundation raised nearly $1 million for the remodeling.
The community once again, answered the call and raised $900,000 for us to remodel the cancer center with a focus on our treatment areas. Over the time, sort of the methodology and preference of patients kind of went from the open arena format to more of a closed private environment so they could have family members with them as they were being treated, opportunity to watch television and just sort of relax while they were receiving their treatment. So again, really so happy that the community stepped up to support us once again.
On top of the private chemo treatment rooms, the renovations included upgrades to the waiting area and family resource room. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt talked taxes in his 2022 State of the State address, specifically grocery taxes. The governor today said he's embracing a longtime goal of the state's Democrats, eliminating the sales tax on groceries. Although the legislature will have record high revenue to spend on the budget, more than $10 billion, Stitt and legislative leaders are predicting relatively flat spending levels. There also is expected to be some divisions among Republicans in the legislature over education vouchers, vaccine mandates, and loosening restrictions on guns. Still ahead, how your Habitat Restore donations help 4-staters and officially enshrined. We'll tell you about the latest inductees into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. The Habitat for Humanity Restore is putting a call out for donations. The Restore accepts home improvement items that are usually left over after folks renovate their homes. Customers get to pick up needed items for a lower price, and the money benefits Habitat for Humanity.
Well, it helps the community for one thing. It helps people get rid of stuff that they have that's piling up over a period of time. It helps us when we go to build the new houses. All the proceeds go to building new Habitat homes. So, if a person feels like they need to donate something, donate it and get you a tax write-off.
If you'd like to donate to the Restore, you can call to schedule a drop-off time. You can find the number in this story on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. The class of 2022 is officially enshrined in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. 18 former athletes, media members, and iconic teams have now taken their place in the hall. That includes a former brick wall for the Kansas City Chiefs, Willie Ropes, Matt Holliday of the Cardinals, John Leamy of Missouri State Soccer, and Steve Hesser from Drury College.
I think everybody would say the same thing, that when you get that call, you're not expecting it, but when you get it, it's cool. It's cool for my family, and it's cool for people associated with Drury and other places that I've been.
Later, the snow is barely melted, but it's baseball time in Joplin. We're going to have highlights from Missouri Southern's home opener in sports.
But first, we're looking good for this evening and mainly good for the rest of the extended forecast. We'll break everything down next. The big mail continued once again today. Once we got the sunshine back into action, the numbers, according to the thermostat, really took off. To show you what I mean, we topped out in the lower to middle 40s around Joplin yesterday. And believe it or not, we turned quite cold this morning with lows back near 20. But after sunrise, the numbers just took off into the upper 40s. In fact, some of you ranged from the mid 40s to the mid 50s this afternoon. That's a general idea of how we're going to look throughout much of this week. Dry and temperature staying above normal. Again, that's for much of this week. I do want to point out an exception, though. There is a weak wave that I want to watch by this coming weekend. It could bring a few possible snow showers by Saturday morning, but mainly it's going to bring a quick cold snap. But these are the only two flies in the ointment, and what's otherwise it's looking like a pretty good forecast compared to what we dealt with last week. Look at the sunset from 7th and Range Line. That is a nice way to start this Monday evening out. Temperatures turning cooler, but still can't deny it's looking pretty good. 43 in Joplin, a southwesterly breeze at 10, making it feel like 37, but that wind is certainly going to help us out as we go into the overnight hours. Let me show you what I mean. We've got a couple of mid and upper 30s around Stockton Lake, the rest of southwest Missouri in the low to mid 40s. Still some spots in our far western counties trying to hold on near 50, but our south and southwest wind staying pretty light at about 5 to 10 miles per hour as we get this evening underway. But it's that very breeze, despite mostly clear skies this evening, that will allow temperatures to only fall from the lower 40s now into the mid 30s by midnight, and I'm thinking upper 20s to lower 30s. So still a cold start for your Tuesday morning, just thankfully not as cold as it was this morning. Looking good across the entire four-state region. A quick look at the surface map has a warm front passing just to the north, high pressure over Texas. Both of those keeping that south and southwest wind in place as we go through the overnight and certainly into tomorrow. And as far as the jet stream setup, I'm watching a few waves, sure, but that upper level ridge, even though it's centered out in Southern California, it's pushed that jet stream back on top of the region, and it's going to make sure that we stay above normal for a good portion of this week, including tomorrow. Once we get past another cold night, that is, but we can keep things quiet with mostly clear skies, lows back in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Looking ahead, though, back quickly into the lower 50s by tomorrow afternoon. And topping out in the upper 50s, I would not be shocked at all if we had some lower 60s popping up before the afternoon tomorrow is all said and done. But around Joplin, let's say 31 in the morning, a quick jump to 52 at noon, and topping out around 58. I think that's certainly doable with the southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The jet stream set up by our Wednesday keeps it to the north, so we'll have another day with quiet skies and temperatures topping out in the upper 50s. Then I've got one wave that'll bring out let's say a little cool down for Thursday. That'll mainly drop us back into the 40s, but looking good for Friday with highs in the lower 60s across the board. Then we got to watch this dip in the jet Saturday morning. That can squeeze out a few possible snow showers, but the main job with that wave as we roll in the 7-day forecast is to take us from midnight high Saturday around 46 and then into the 30s all day. But other than that one day, the entire forecast is looking good. 58 tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday, upper 40s on Thursday, 62 on Friday. Then after that little dip down, we'll be back in the 40s on Sunday and near 60 on Valentine's Day.
We've had such wild fluctuations in the weather over the past week around here. It's nice to be mild consistently for a while.
Yeah, this forecast this week will take it.
You bet. Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern Lions play their baseball home opener against Winona State. And a Frontenac High School senior signs to continue his football career at Pitt State. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Missouri Southern Lions play their first home baseball games of the season today. The Lions host a 3-game series against Winona State, beginning with a doubleheader this afternoon. Now here's game one today. Southern 0-1, aiming for their first win of the season. Top of the first, Cole Woods comes out dealing for Southern. Woods 3 strikeouts in the first. He finished with 10 in just 5 innings of work. A bottom half now. Lions on the board first. Tommy Stevenson back up the middle. That scores Jordan Fitzpatrick. Southern gets 2 in the inning. To the third now, more from Stevenson. Really squared up on this one, man. Way over the fence in center. First homer of the season for Tommy Stevenson. To the fourth now, Lions add to their lead. Jordan Fitzpatrick fights it off to left to score another. Fitzpatrick drives in 3. Moso gets 6 in the fourth to go up 10-0. Lions roll by the Warriors in game one, 13-1. In game two, Southern trying to sweep the doubleheader. They're up 13-8 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tommy Stevenson 2 for 4 with 2 more homers and 4 RBIs. Pittsburgh State also in action today, aiming for a 2-0 start against Oklahoma Baptist. That one is final. The Gorillas fall 10-4. Caden Fowler, though, nice day, going 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Well, today is a big day for a big group of seniors at Webb City High School. 8 Webb City student athletes signed today to continue their careers in college. Now, a few of them sticking around to play for local schools. Cooper Crouch signs today to join the baseball program at Crowder College. Dustin Brockmiller and Alana Bundy continuing their running careers in college in the MIAA. Brockmiller is headed to Pittsburgh State, while Bundy will go down the street to Missouri Southern.
I went there and I really liked the team and the girls. They were all really nice and the coach is nice and it's close to home and that's kind of what I wanted.
They had a really good program last year, the best in the MIAA, and that's just a success that I want to be a part of and help contribute to, and yeah, it's a really good program.
My brother had played there before me, and I've known the program for so long and just what Lolly's been able to do with the players that have came in, so I just want to be a part of that. It means a lot. It means even more because I know there's a lot of people out there I didn't think it would be happening, but means a lot to me.
You can check out our interviews with all 8 Web City signees in this story on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. To Frontenac now, Pitt State football adding a local guy. Frontenac senior Lane Franklin signs this afternoon to play on the defensive line for the Gorillas. Franklin was a 4-year starter for the Raiders, earning all-league and all-state recognition. He says he's excited to get on the field for a team he watched from the stands growing up.
It's been a dream of mine ever since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to play collegiate football, and especially at Pittsburgh State. Growing up watching them play, it's always been a dream of mine. The coaching staff was super nice. They communicate with you well. I talked to my D-line coach every other day at least, and he just asked me how my day was going and stuff like that, which was very big for my recruiting process, I think.
Missouri Southern basketball is on the road tonight for a conference doubleheader against Lincoln. Now, on the women's side, the Lions are the hottest team in the league, entering the night on an 8-game winning streak. Southern trying to stay just a game back of first place in the MIAA. Right now, the Lions are up 42-23 at halftime. Amaya Johns leads Southern with 16 points. As for the Missouri Southern men, they'll try to avoid a third straight loss tonight facing the Blue Tigers. Southern won their first meeting in Joplin back in December. That one tips off at roughly 7:30. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are also in action tonight on the road against Central Missouri. The Pitt State women try for back-to-back wins after beating Lincoln on Saturday. The Gorillas also trying to avoid the season sweep to the Jennies after falling to UCM in Pittsburgh back in December. Pitt State trails that one 39-24 at halftime. Tristan Gegg has a team-high 9 points for the Gorillas. After that one finishes up, the Pitt State men hit the floor against the Mules. Gorillas looking for a much-needed win after dropping 7 of their last 8. That one's at 7:30. We'll have the latest from all of these games right here tonight at 10. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War veteran. Edward L. Whitby served in the U.S. Army. He's from Miami, Oklahoma, and we are proud to salute Edward L. Whitby, tonight's 4-state hero. Jordan Abe joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, a look at the continuing debate on Capitol Hill, the future of Build Back Better. Also, the Freedom Convoy in Canada continues protests against COVID-19 restrictions. And a look at how many calories the average American is expected to consume during this year's Super Bowl. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Jordan, thanks. Do we really want to count those Super Bowl calories? I don't think those count. When the Minnesota Department of Transportation asked for the public's health in their Name a Snowplow contest, they should have known they'd receive countless contributions, and the creative and the kooky, the crazy, the cringy, they all were in there. But in the end, residents made it clear they're holding on to what's golden, voting overwhelmingly to honor late actress Betty White. With more than 40,000 votes, Betty Whiteout plowed over the competition. It bested some colorful runners-up like Control Salt Delete, The Big Leplowski, and Scoop Dog. The top 8 submissions, including other gems like Blizzard of Oz and No More Mr. Ice Guy, will adorn plows across the state. As for the Betty Whiteout, she'll be serving District 8, covering parts of southwest and central Minnesota. That's a nice tribute to Betty White. Didn't quite make it to her 100th birthday. No need for snowplows right now.
No, in fact, Mother Nature should melt the rest over the next few days with highs in the upper 50s and plenty of sunshine.
Final sports note.
Check out our interviews with all 8 Web City signees on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon services provided.